Welcome back to Great Day Houston. Well, the roots go back to ancient Druid religious rituals in 400 AD. In the late 1600s, Irish culture was suppressed and step dancing had to survive in secret. Fast forward, many of us remember the high-energy river dance phenomenon led by Michael Flatley and Jean Butler, introduced in the 90s. The cultural dance became major entertainment around the world and also became part of global competitions. On St. Patrick's Day, those steps take center stage. Our next guests have spent a lifetime mastering the art. Aaron Cass, Laura Cass-Barrington, they are both the owners of the Cass-Barrington Academy of Irish Dance. And every time we would hear a little bit of the Irish music coming up, both of you were like kind of like going like this. You're like, yeah, it definitely is in you. All right, so you grew up where?
I grew up in Buffalo, New York. Yeah. It's my sister. We both grew up in Buffalo, New York. That's where we started Irish dancing.
But you have Irish roots.
We do. We have great-grandparents and beyond, all just straight from Ireland. Yeah. So it's very much in the family.
All right. We'll get to how you started step dancing. But first, let's back up and talk a little bit about St. Patrick's Day. So many times we will celebrate traditions. We play by the rules. We put our colors on. We do all the stuff, but don't know how exactly it got there.
Right, right. So St. Patrick's Day is actually just a big celebration of religion and traditions and just Irish culture and lots of legends. Yeah. And, it really dates back to St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, and his contributions, most notably his spreading of Christianity throughout the country. Yeah. He was actually British, not Irish, and was captured.
And a lot of people get that mixed up because there is a United Kingdom. There is a United Kingdom, but they're united from
lots
different
of
countries.
There. Yeah. But after he was captured and taken there as a slave. He escaped, and the story goes that years later is when he returned and started to spread Christianity throughout Ireland, and he used the shamrock as the symbol for helping him explain the Holy Trinity in Christianity. So the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, so that's where you'll see the shamrock today.
Yeah. And of course, the tradition was, like many of them, were brought to the United States through soldiers and immigrants as well.
Absolutely, and that's where you see it wasn't until probably the late 1700s or beyond where you started seeing all of the festivals and celebrations and things like the parades and the gathering and the green beer and what we do today.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Irish dancing probably started as part of religious rituals, as most dances did, except for disco. But the evolution of step dancing was interesting. During the Irish suppression, a lot of that has to do with the style of dance that we see today.
Very true. It did derive from that, with the British invasion of Ireland, where they had the double doors where the top opens. Dancing was suppressed, and that was kind of their secret way of leaving the arms down and not moving, so it didn't look like they were doing anything, but still moving their feet.
Looking through the window or looking over the hedges are like, we're not doing anything. Nothing's going on here, nothing to see here.
Not at all.
Yeah, but that's why all the emphasis was put into the really fancy footwork,
exactly,
right?
And that's kind of what sets Irish dancing apart, truly, is we use arms a lot now in modern dancing and a lot of performances, but truly it began as the arms down form of dance and lots of footwork.
And at the time, it wasn't like the big, ballet where they were moving all across the stages, because oftentimes they would do lessons in like a small kitchen or little living room.
Exactly, or even an Irish pub. The space is not that large, so lots of people gathered in one space, and you didn't have room to use.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Irish pub and the fancy footwork mixed together, but anyway, modern Irish dance, as I mentioned, there's the bling culture now. There's like we see right here that they're wearing the wigs and things, and then but sometimes you don't in competition or things like that, right? But I mentioned the Michael Flatley moment, and that was kind of like in the mid-90s, and I remember meeting him. He came on a show I did, but somebody else came on a show I did, and you're looking familiar to me. 2001.
It could have been that early. 2001, maybe 2002. Yeah. We back when it was the Deborah Duncan show. Yeah. We were one of them, and now here we are.
Oh, okay. And how did you become one of them? Is it something you naturally fell into as kids, or was it something that you had to, like your parents said, come on, we're going to honor our Irish roots, you're going to have to do the dance?
I mean, we had a pretty big family. Living up in Buffalo, we had 11 first cousins at the same time dancing. Oh, wow. So as kids, we just naturally kind of joined our cousins, and I mean, Erin might remember a little bit more when she started, but for me it was like I just did it because she did it.
I think you slid in there. Erin's a little older than I am, so she might remember some things that I don't remember.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, right.
Well, I did everything she did. Like I wanted to be Erin, so she started dancing before I did, and then I joined, and then we have two other sisters who also joined as well.
Yeah. So. What does it do for you to do something that you know is part of a culture? and part of your culture.
It's really special. It's especially being Irish dance. It's not, being down here in Texas, we've been doing this for 20 years now, and we still get people saying, what is that? That you have that here? So it's really fun to continue constantly to just be able to show off that part of our culture, but knowing that we're actually tied to it with our ancestry, it's just a really.
And you took it seriously. You competed, but Laura, it's one thing to do something for the joy of it, or family gatherings and everybody celebrates. It's another thing to make it part of your livelihood, to actually want to teach it to the next generation. What was that decision between you all? Because I know you owned the business together.
I knew right away that this was going to be a forever thing for me. We talked as kids. One day when we have a school. Wanted to perform my whole life, so went on to tour for a while, came back. I knew when I wanted to teach, I knew personally that I was ready to hang up the shoes competitively, because I started caring more about what all of the kids were doing than myself when it came to competitions.
You hung up the competitive shoes, but I don't know how far you can lift your foot up, but you got these shoes instead. Look at that green boots. I love that, the green boots there. All right, so your next chapter was to teach and to also share the story of Irish heritage, but also taking those kids through competition. I always want kids to be involved in something outside of their mandatory things that we oftentimes, obviously we get school and it's your reading, writing, arithmetic, all that type of stuff. But the arts is so important, and something like dance is so important. What do these kids learn besides the steps?
Oh my goodness. I think they learn more than just the dancing. I think it just really, it's all encompassing, like you said, just the arts is just something super special to be involved in, but just beyond the discipline and the training and the athleticism, I mean, they go through this dance journey, and there's life lessons every single day. How to win, how to lose, how to present themselves in public,
sometimes how to play hurt,
how
right?
to be a part of a team and work together, and setting goals and reaching them, and there's just an endless amount of things you can learn by being a part of this.
All right, so tell me about the studio. Do you have to have any dance ability whatsoever when you first show up?
Absolutely not. No. We take kids of all ages. We even have an adult class in our Heights location. So if anyone wants to come try it out, we're www.cass-barrington.com. Send us a message, and we'll take anyone. And whether it's for the fun of it, or you want to at some point have a child, or you may get into competition, because you have won competitions all over the place.
We certainly have. These kids train really hard, and although it's not required, many of them do compete, and we have regional, national, and world champion dancers.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Very
and your
exciting.
Performances, they'll be dancing all day today.
All day today. We are touching every part of Houston today.
Are y'all supposed to be in school today? They're like nodding their head. It's a cultural day off. All right. They're all nodding their head. I will give you an excuse now. How about that? All right. The Cass-Barrington Academy of Irish Dance will perform all across the greater Houston area today, starting at 1 p.m. at Goose's Acre Pub. To keep up with the rest of their appearances, follow them on social media at Cass-Barrington Academy. And to find out about lessons, visit greatdayhouston.com. And now, here they are with a special St. Paddy's Day performance.